those of the staff or management of Radio DHODIs. The content broadcast on this show is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only.
Top of the morning, Bay, with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
गुड मॉर्निंग बे आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा गुड मॉर्निंग
नमस्ते
नमस्कार
नमस्कार
सुप्रभात
वणक्कम
और ऑफ कोर्स आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से हमारे सारे फीजी मदद लोगों को बोलेंगे नीसा मुला बरजान एंड हमारे इस वाली भाई बदल लोगों को या अली मदद एंड मौला अली मदद बरजान
जय श्री कृष्ण जय स्वामी नारायण जय जिनेंद्र एंड ऑफ कोर्स सत श्री अकाल टू ऑल आवर पंजाबी बंधुस एज वेल बंधुजान
दैट्स राइट ऑफ कोर्स अभी के लिए बोलते हैं बंधुजान ये है गुड मॉर्निंग बे व्हिच कम्स टू गाइस एवरी मंडे टू फ्राइडे बंधुजान राइट हियर फ्रॉम 9 to 10 with we start off with nice spiritual stuff with like a bhajan हो कुछ भी हो किसी को ऊपर वाले को याद करते हुए and then we move on further for the day बंधुजान and yes we are the halfway point of the week. बाहर बारिश हो रही है हाँ storm चल रही है बंधुजान. It'll go on probably for the whole of day today and tomorrow is going to be kind of cloudy, no rain, don't worry about that. Probably Sunday we might have some rain, but we might have a downpour on Sunday. But what was actually looking to be a nice sunny day on Saturday is looking kind of cloudy right now, Barjan. But we don't know, right? Weather keeps changing, you know, kisko malum hai. Even the weather forecasters actually are only doing estimation of what's going to happen. But the nature of it throws a curveball at us every time, Barjan. Right. And of course, abhi ke liye aapko bolta ki this is the Good Morning Bay and time for us to go and take a look at what's happening with the traffic, Barjan. Raste ka haal, aap logon ko denge total sustenance.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Bajan. 408-912-2479. If you want to share with us what's happening on the road where you are located, Bajan. Vaise to, just by the bird's eye view, I just see that there's some delay happening on 24 eastbound west of the Camino Pablo in Orinda County, Bajan. Actually, the center divider is blocked over there, which is giving some delays. Some road work happening on 237 is creating a bottleneck in the Middlefield Road in Mountain View area. Watch out, drive very carefully. That's the cone area there. Construction work is in progress. And there's a traffic hazard with the reporter northbound 101 north of the Lucky Drive in Corta Madera. Yes, it's not somewhere here, but somewhere in Corta Madera, but then watch out for that. 280 is reporting a traffic hazard actually on 92 East near San Mateo area. The second lane for the left is blocked. Watch out for that. Just 5 minutes, in fact, around 15 minutes ago, not 15, I'm sorry, correct myself, 10 minutes ago, a report of an accident on 580 eastbound, totally disrupting traffic in the El Charo Road in Pleasanton region. Watch out for that. Similarly, at the same time, 101 northbound, also south of the Yolanda Avenue, Santa Rosa, actually is having an accident which is blocking the left lanes. Watch out for that. And as you guys know, it is raining outside, so floods are evident, and high winds also are pretty much evident on the bridges. So ATV, and you watch out for the high winds over there, and possible flooding on 101 southbound north of Airport Boulevard in San Francisco, so you need to drive carefully there, Banjan. Now that was a traffic update for you guys. Well, it seems like the traffic is getting busier right now, Banjan, because COVID is opening up. We'll give you more information about what's happening with the COVID situation for everybody out there to listen. But right now, a quick look at the headlines of the US. Faltwani, what do you think? Do we have the US headlines for Bandus?
Yes, we do.
And this is the headlines, Banjan, and whatever she shares with you guys on air, you can go check it out on the news blog mediamahima.com. Lekin abhi ke liye aaj ka headline, that is today's headline, Banjan, which is Wednesday, March 10th.
From the Radio Dihari studios right here in the Silicon Valley, these are the headlines for today, the 10th of March. 4 jurors seated in Minneapolis trial over deadly arrest of George Floyd. U.S. to procure 100 million additional doses of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine, according to officials. Alaska becomes the first United States state to make vaccine available to everyone 16 and older. Hawaii declares emergency due to floods and orders evacuations. Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 bill moved towards final approval in the House. The U.S. House also expands protections for labor union organizing. And in news in the state of California, Los Angeles Schools and Teachers Union reach a tentative deal to reopen schools. Businesses in Alameda, Solano, Santa Cruz counties resume indoor operations. Santa Clara County leaders approve COVID-19 relief for small businesses. And an Uber driver in San Francisco was brutally attacked, refusing to offer a ride to 3 women who wore no masks. Embattled Governor Newsom says brighter days ahead for California. And finally, Stanford cancels over 6,000 vaccine appointments due to a shortage.
Ironically, the way she chose to read the news, Balajan, seems like Gavin Newsom was totally careless about whatever happens in the in the state. A guy beaten brutally by women is a bright day.
What? Gavin Newsom says brighter days ahead.
Yeah, following the headlines
Yeah.
of the Uber driver being beaten up. I said irony of the fact that you read it out that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, but don't go about the news, because news generally are read out by people who actually are reading the news in multiple news at the same time. So there's no connection between the two. There's no correlation also between the two incidents. But we'll get to know more about that right now. But to pehle, we need to go to a Gane ka Kira. Yeah, but the Gane Kira for you guys, because it's going to be the March, Mahila March. We have a nice song for you guys for the movie called Hitchki. Jasleen Royal's composition, Arijit Singh's voice, Raj Shekhar's lyrics.
आठ समंदर अपना अंबर खोज ले अब तू अपने दम पर भूख मार के धूल झाड़ ले छोड़ छाड़ के सारे छप्पर आठ समंदर अपना अंबर खोज ले अब तू अपने दम पर भूख मार के धूल झाड़ ले छोड़ छाड़ के सारे छप्पर खोल दे पर 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 खोल दे पर
Bajan, what a beautiful movie it was. I haven't seen watch it, Bajan. They actually showcase some of the kids who are from the Dharavi slums, Bajan. They're into the hip hop. In fact, Dharavi was one of the first places to actually embrace hip hop the way it was embraced here in the US, Bajan. Now enjoy the song, voice of Arijit Singh and Justin Royal's composition.
रटी रटाई सारी छोड़ो भी दुनियादारी बागी तेवर जो तेरे बोलेंगे सब अनाड़ी सबको मनाने की तेरी नहीं जिम्मेदारी ऊंचे आसमानों में लिख दे तू हिस्सेदारी खोल दे पर खोल दे पर खोल दे पर खोल दे पर खोल दे पर
Yeah, Balajan, everybody out there, call the par and start flying, Balajan. Yes, don't worry about the virus. Agar aapne vaccination nahi liya, if you want to know how to get it, you can send us a message over here. We can definitely tell you how we can go find it, Balajan. Because Media Mahima actually is one of the vaccine ambassadors here in the county. So if you want information, we'll be here to give you the right information from the right sources out here, Balajan. And abhi ke liye, let's go for the news in detail. Faltani, are you ready for the news in detail for our bandhus? What's happening in the US and locally as well?
Right. A fourth juror was seated during the second day of jury selections on Wednesday in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former policeman facing criminal charges for his role in the death of George Floyd during an arrest that caused an outcry around the world. Judge Peter Cahill of the Hennepin County District Court has set aside 3 weeks to screen jurors, aware that most people have heard of Chauvin and even seen the bystanders' video showing him with his knee on the dying Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. 3 jurors were seated after saying they could put aside their misgivings about Chauvin. A white man who is a chemist at an environmental testing lab, a woman who appeared to be of mixed race who said she was super excited to be serving on a jury, and a white man who works as an auditor. after questions from Chauvin's lead lawyer, Eric Nelson, and a prosecutor from the Minnesota Attorney General's office, a fourth juror has been selected, who calls himself a sales manager and appears to be white again and in his early 30s, said he tended to think police made more trustworthy witnesses and were more likely to testify based on facts rather than emotions. So you can get more information on this on MediaMahima.com. The United States plans to double its order of the single-shot Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine, procuring an additional 100 million doses, a White House official said on Wednesday. President Joe Biden will direct the Department of Health and Human Services to secure the additional supply, the official said, speaking on condition of anonymity. Biden is likely to highlight the issue at a meeting with the chief executives of Johnson & Johnson and Merck & Company later on Wednesday. Merck has agreed to partner with Johnson & Johnson to produce its vaccine. The United States has actually already paid over $1 billion for 100 million doses from J&J, and they had an option to purchase another 200 million doses.
Wow, it's $100 million for a million doses?
Yes.
That's $1,000 per dose?
No, $1 billion for 100 million doses.
For 100 million, so $10 per dose.
Roughly.
$100 per dose.
$100 per dose.
Wow, that's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
Really?
supposed to be a negotiated rate.
And this is for Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, I want to be working at Johnson & Johnson right now. Anyway, Alaska becomes the first U.S. state to make vaccines available to anyone age 16 or older, eliminating the eligibility requirements for people who work or live in the state. Governor Mike Dunleavy, a Republican, announced the new rules on Tuesday for his state of about 730,000 people. More than a quarter of Alaskans have received at least one vaccine shot, second only to New Mexico, according to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Certain regions of Alaska are nearing 90% vaccination rate among elderly people, officials said.
And of course, Faltoni, I think we should be moving to Alaska actually.
Right?
We should become Alaska residents. But I don't know if it works with people who are immigrating there.
I would love to go.
You know, it's such a nice place. It's cold and everything's like thunderous.
And then you'll have those Siberian husky dogs running your dog
Sure,
sled
you'll
around.
have grizzlies coming now, but the point is, yeah, and polar bears sometimes take a crossover. Now, the point I'm making is, Faltoni, if you're in Alaska, you get the free shots for sure. They make sure that you're safe and sound. And second thing is, you get paid also by them for the oil they make out of the country, of the state.
If you own something there.
No, if you're a resident, you actually get paid, I believe. That's what they say. They get something, oil reimbursement, something for all the people who are living in Alaska get it.
If I wanted to move anywhere, I'd want to move to Hawaii.
Why Hawaii?
Because I loved the Hawaii
Well, you like
trip
the
that I went
volcano?
on. It was beautiful.
You like the volcanoes there?
But volcano is one thing, and another terrible thing happened yesterday, which caused an emergency. They've declared an emergency due to the floods. Hawaii Governor David Ige declared an emergency in the United States state after heavy rains brought floods, landslides, and fear of dam failures, and authorities ordered the evacuation of several thousand people from communities threatened by rising waters.
When you say damn failures, talking about are you cursing or are you like talking about the DAM or DAM?
DAM, not the cursing. Oh God, you're pathetic.
I was going to say don't do it in the morning.
The move came after a dam overflowed on the island of Maui, forcing evacuations and destroying homes, with the dam's unsatisfactory condition leading to it being scheduled for removal this year, the land department had said. The emergency proclamation makes state general funds available that can be used quickly and efficiently to help those impacted by the severe weather, Ige said on Tuesday. Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill moves towards final approval in the House of Representatives, which forecasters predict will turbocharge the U.S. economy. The legislation, one of the largest stimulus measures in American history, includes $400 billion for the $1,400 direct payments to most Americans, $350 billion in aid to state and local governments, an expansion of the child tax credit, and increased funding for vaccine distribution. Republicans in the House threw up last gasp efforts to
Wait,
slow.
did they throw up?
They threw up last gasp efforts to slow or stop the bills.
What's happening to your father? All your words you're saying is like totally. I thought they threw up actually in the thing.
They
the floor.
threw up last gasp effort. You gotta listen clearly, not listen selectively, Alto. Or stop the bill's approval in the Democratic Control Chamber.
Okay. I thought they had some food poisoning. So that's why they threw up. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
That the Democrats would have that gag reflex based on what the Republicans are doing. I guess. I don't know. That's the progressives versus the
ouch.
conservatives.
The liberal in house coming out.
No, I'm just saying that. Hey, they can't stand each other. Everything is being voted along party lines, literally.
Yeah.
It's just sad and pathetic, actually. Anyway, U.S. House also on Tuesday narrowly approved legislation to expand protections for labor union organizing and collective bargaining at a time when workers at an Amazon.com facility in Alabama are deciding whether to join a union. The Protecting the Right to Organize Act, being pushed by Democrats, passed the House by a vote of 225 to 206. The bill now goes to the Senate, where it is expected to have a more difficult path because Democrats and Republicans are split 50-50 in the chamber, and most legislation needs at least 60 supporters to advance it. As I mentioned before, in the Los Angeles Unified School District and its teachers' unions reached a tentative deal for children to return to school as coronavirus containment measures are relaxed. Under the plans, preschool and elementary school students will be able to return in mid-April, and secondary school students will return at the end of April. And the agreement provides for a hybrid model combining online and in-person instruction, with students remaining in small, stable cohorts while on campus to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. A joint statement by District Superintendent Austin Butner and Union President Cecily Mayat Cruz said. And in local news, how is opening looking? 3 more counties in the Greater Bay Area fell out of the state's most restrictive coronavirus reopening on Tuesday, allowing some businesses to resume indoor operations at limited capacity. Some of those businesses began opening their doors early this morning. Alameda, Santa Cruz, and Solano counties all moved out of the purple tier of the state's blueprint for a safer economy, following declines in their case and test positivity rates, bringing the number of the region's counties in the red tier to 8. So gyms, restaurants, movie theaters, museums, zoos, aquariums are all going to be open at 25% capacity. In the meanwhile, Santa Clara County leaders approved COVID-19 relief for small businesses. The Board of Supervisors on Tuesday unanimously approved waiving or reducing permit fees for small businesses as part of the county's COVID-19 recovery efforts. Businesses with fewer than 50 employees, including food retailers, restaurants, personal care services, gyms, and others impacted by the pandemic, will have permit fees waived effective immediately. Small businesses have payroll, bills, and fixed debts, so every fee we can reduce and waive as we begin to economically recover from the pandemic will help, said Supervisor Cindy Chavez. An embattled Governor Newsom. I said embattled, so don't say that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarification.
Yeah, for those of you who know, yesterday, if you actually watched the State of the State address, Bandijan, it was not the typical showboating that Newsom does, even in his press conferences. It just seemed like, if you watch, have you ever watched videos on a 1.5 speed?
1.5 speed. Yeah, it does
Yeah,
go really fast.
it almost seemed like that.
Oh, really? Why
Yeah,
was that?
it really, it just seemed like he was rattling through and he just wanted to get it over and done with kind of thing, and it just seemed very scripted. It was not the typical Governor Newsom with his, personality and off-the-cuff kind of, remarks and extemporaneous speech. It didn't seem like that. It seemed more of, okay, he is really embattled at this point because he's facing Republicans are pushing for a recall of this governor, and then you also have the fact that there's so much going on with regard to the pandemic response and all that. But you know what? I think what hurt him the most was the fact that he was at that what is that, laundry?
The laundry. We went to wash his clothes.
Where he went to eat when he had coronavirus restrictions. The picture of him.
He went for a fundraiser organized by the French Laundry, which actually is full of conservatives, and it's French Laundry, but there's a restaurant which you and I can't go afford to eat. I could go eat I've eaten once in one place, and I still am paying back the debt, I suppose. But it's expensive to go eat there.
Well, let's tell you what Governor Newsom did. He actually sought to rally a state worn down after a year of coronavirus lockdowns, record wildfires, and unfathomable sickness and death, urging nearly 40 million residents to, quote, okay, and he actually said this, Badjan. Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
He said, dream of brighter days ahead, unquote,
Okay.
while acknowledging his own mistakes that have put his political future on the line. People are alive today because of the public health decisions we made, life saved because of your sacrifice, Newsom said Tuesday night in his third State of the State address. Even so, I acknowledge that it's made life hard, made life unpredictable, and you're exhausted by all of it. California governors normally make these annual speeches before a joint session of legislature in Sacramento and are interrupted frequently by cheers and applause from members of their party, but that didn't happen because it was to an empty Dodger Stadium due to the coronavirus pandemic. He stood behind a solitary lectern rising from a carpeted black podium in a deep center field. There were no cheers to interrupt him, only the sound of a helicopter thumping overhead. He made no major policy announcements. Instead, he focused mostly on actions he believes have positioned the state for a robust recovery and that blunt calls for him to be recalled. In some disturbing news, Banujan, this was an Indian driver, apparently Indian American driver. The driver's surveillance video, widely circulated on social media, shows 3 women who become verbally abusive towards the driver. Okay, what is this about? An Uber driver in San Francisco was attacked by 3 women Sunday after he refused to give them a ride for not wearing masks, according to the police. Shubhakar Khadka, who's 32 years old, picked up 3 women at the San Bruno Avenue and Felton Street, and one of the passengers was not wearing a mask, police said. The driver ended the ride a few minutes later at San Bruno and Silver Avenues. The driver's surveillance video, in that video, one of the women reached over the driver's seat, grabs his cell phone, but Khadka was able to get it back, police said. The woman also yanked you can see her yanking his driver's mask off, breaking the bands that secure it. So I truly just want to get out of there as soon as possible. I wanted them to leave my car, Khadka said. When the women exited the car, one of them reached into an open window and sprayed what was believed to be pepper spray towards the driver.
Wow. Did they need that also by any chance? Because it's being so aggressive? I don't know.
Well, it's a very disturbing video. There's a lot of racial slurs, Bandajan. There's one of the women is a woman of color, and it's really, really disappointing. I mean, I was shocked when I saw that video. Anyway, and then finally, of course, Stanford, I told you, Stanford Healthcare is cancelling more than 6,000 coronavirus appointments in Santa Clara and Alameda counties because of a vaccine shortage. We learned we would be getting less vaccine than we anticipated, so it led us to make very difficult decisions to postpone the first dose appointments, said Dr. Neeraj Sehgal, Chief Medical Officer of Stanford Healthcare. So, those were the news in detail from across the United States and also locally from the Bay Area.
And of course, Banjan, we get to the other news as well. Don't worry about that. Just come जाएंगे. लेकिन अभी आपको बोलने कि listen to Good Morning Bay, presentation of Media Mahima Banjan for the Radio Dihodi's network, airing live and local on Radio Mirchi 13:10 a.m. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but doesn't matter. It's my mouthful, so you can just take it into your earful, by the way, Banjan. And let me tell you, if you want to listen to us, we are available 24/7 on our app called Radio Dihodi's, available for free download on iOS and also on the Android platform. And yes, whenever we go live, we are live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Radio Dihodi's. We have people on there already. So good morning, Anna Sharma ji, kaise hain aap? And we also have our, the YouTube will hold our information as well. And then we are live on 13:10 a.m. as well, Bandajan. So thank you so much, Vishal ji, who actually listening to us right now, but not on Facebook. Many people actually taking this hiatus on Facebook, Fatwani. I don't know why.
That's okay.
It's good, right?
Well, you are only missing out. You don't have to actually log into Facebook at all. You can log in just to watch our videos.
But by the way, Faltari, one good news coming up for you guys. We're working on a particular, our tech team is working on actually making sure we can stream live also on our YouTube channel pretty soon. Woohoo! And if it's only on Twitter, it also might happen on Twitter, by the way. Yeah. And right now, Banjan, here is the news for you guys from the world. Faltari, you have the news from the world for our bandus?
I have the headlines, Altu Baba.
Please go ahead. Let's go to the headlines.
Okay, from across the world and also some news from India we'll share really soon, Badajan, but these are the headlines. Children lose parents as thousands flee after the Equatorial Guinea blast. Myanmar security forces surround, arrest protesters, and the United States calls for withdrawal. US and Israel to hold consultative group meeting on Thursday. The royal family issues a statement finally with regard to the Meghan and Harry debacle. And in news from India, Mamta Banerjee was attacked in Nandigram. We'll bring you key developments from there. Coronavirus live updates from India. Covaxin can officially be taken off the clinical trial mode, is what experts are recommending. And India buys 30 US armed drones to counter China and Pakistan.
30 drones.
30
What
drones.
happened to our Eagle drone?
I don't know, but I will bring you the news in detail shortly.
Oh, okay, Balajan. But right now, before she gets to the news, Balajan, here's what I'm going to get into. I'm going to get into the Gunning Akita's second iteration, Balajan. Enjoy the song. It's from the movie Hitchki. And this is a song which is sung by Arjit Singh, but of course, beautifully strung to music by Justine Royal to the lyrics of Raj Shekhar.
आठ समंदर अपना अंबर खोज ले अब तू अपने दम पर भूख मार के धूल झाड़ ले छोड़ छाड़ के सारे छप्पर आठ समंदर अपना अंबर खोज ले अब तू अपने दम पर भूख मार के धूल झाड़ ले छोड़ छाड़ के सारे छप्पर खोल दे पर 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 खोल दे पर
And of course, Bajan, the movie Hitchki is a very interesting movie about differentiated teaching, not just learning, Bajan. Yes, if you wonder what exactly it is, something which even Pragnya is fighting for, Bajan. A differentiated approach to how you can actually teach children the way they learn.
सारी छोड़ो भी दुनियादारी रटी रटाई सारी छोड़ो भी दुनियादारी भागी तेवर जो तेरे बोलेंगे सब नारी सबको मनाने की तेरी नहीं जिम्मेदारी ऊंचे आसमानों पे लिख दे तू हिस्सेदारी खोल दे
Hold the part, Bajan, and start flying wherever you got to go. But right now, Bajan, we're going to fly into the news. Faltoni, what's happening with the world news in detail? I really want to know.
Callers seeking the parents of lost children have been regularly dialing into radio and television programs since a series of explosions leveled much of Equatorial Guinea's largest city and sent thousands fleeing for the countryside. 3 days on, the residents of Bata are still coming to grips with the full scale of a tragedy that has killed at least 105 people and injured more than 600 others. Drone footage aired on state television showed block after block of public housing in the coastal city either completely destroyed or close to it, the remnants of their roofs and walls strewn across the neighborhood's dirt roads. Many children are without parents, said a teacher in Bata who asked not to be named for fear of reprisals from the authorities in the tightly controlled Central African country. In the long term, what are we going to do with these children is the big concern. The reclusive government blamed the explosions on fires set by farmers living near the military base and the negligent handling of dynamite stocks by the military unit guarding them. It is really, really sad news. But if you want to catch up on that story and, want to partake in some of the relief efforts that are going on there, most definitely go check it out. We will post the link on mediamahima.com. Myanmar security forces fired tear gas and surrounded hundreds of anti-junta protesters at two places in Yangon this morning, witnesses said, prompting the US Embassy to call for their withdrawal. In New York, the UN Security Council faced failed to agree on a statement that would have condemned the coup in Myanmar, called for restraint by the military, and threatened to consider further measures. Talks on the statement would likely continue, diplomats said, after China, Russia, India, and Vietnam all suggested amendments late on Tuesday to a British draft, including removal of the reference to a coup and the threat to consider further action. More than 60 protesters have so far been killed and 1,900 have been arrested in the turmoil in Myanmar since February 1. The United States and Israel are going to be holding their first virtual strategic consultative group meeting on March 11th, the White House announced on Wednesday. The meeting will be led by White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Israeli National Security Advisor Meir bin Shabbat, and will focus on regional issues, the statement added. After the whole Oprah Winfrey candid interview with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex aired on Sunday night in the United States, the subject matter covered a whole big telltale headline news, boasting of the largest viewership, about 17.1 million people who watched it here, and then more people watched it, about 12 point something watched it in the United Kingdom when it first aired. The attention that this televised event garnered wasn't surprising considering the rare nature of two members of the British royal family opening and telling their story about claims of racism and suicidal ideation and lack of support and security and so much more. It was bound to be a public talker, but it wasn't until midday yesterday that the Buckingham Palace added an official royal voice to that chatter with a statement issued on behalf of Queen Elizabeth II herself. It is a very small statement, and it just said this, quote, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Harry and Meghan and Archie will always be much loved family members." What is
Okay.
that?
Knowing this particular monarchy, for hundreds of years, they know diplomacy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it means that they're going to be loved as family, but they are not family. You got to read through between the lines, Brajan. Yeah.
Okay, where does that
Big
say that?
boo-boo.
Where does it say
I
that?
can read the way I want. I'm not under the rule of Her Highness. All people, the media in Britain are going crazy supporting the crown, but I'm sorry. No, I don't think so.
Well, Aldo Baba, I'm going to tell you, it's not just the media. Piers Morgan, of course, is one of the media who is a diehard.
Excuse me,
He says he doesn't believe anything, a word that comes out of
because
Meghan
they
Markle's
still think that the Queen is the Queen.
Well, it has left Britain torn to a great extent. There are people who believe that this is a lot of overhyping, and it's really not an issue. There are people who believe that the royal family is not capable of causing this much damage or whatever. So there's like a big divide. I'm not kidding. There are people who believe it.
You
people
know
who
why?
don't believe.
All people supporting our family are whites.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
thank you
don't
very
know
much.
that, and I'm not going to.
I've been reading this story for the past 2 days.
Oh.
Ever since she went on, I knew there's going to be some kind of action on that thing. But anyway, here's the thing. So one thing I don't agree with whatever Meghan Markle and why are they still keeping the titles?
Yeah, exactly.
Relinquish the titles.
Yeah, relinquish your royal lineage.
You know
right?
why? Because the titles of Duchess and everything, right?
Yeah.
Gives them money.
Yeah.
They get paid. They're like, they get paid royalty for all this stuff, or just for having the title.
Yeah.
And now she comes back and says Archie did not get titles because she chose not to have titles for Archie initially.
Oh, is that her issue that she mentioned?
That's one of the things. Oh, they're talking about not giving any title to Archie. That's a kid.
Oh, God.
Right? As though the title. See, that's what I'm trying to say. You want this, you want to have the cake. Both of them are actually a fault, I would say. First of all, why would you want to go marry?
This is a typical Saas Bahu wala situation, right? It's like
But this is not Saas, no? This is actually a grandmother, grand Saas.
But it's not her. They've actually both Meghan and Harry said that they love the Queen Mother a lot. And that they express their love and respect
Well,
for
actually
her.
Saas, it's the Nanand, the two wives having a problem.
I don't know. I don't know what the issue is, but clearly there
William
is
and
an
Harry,
issue.
they're both having problems.
Yeah, that could be
Their wives having problems.
That could be the truth. And I don't know if you've read about, well, that's trash talk, but read about William having an affair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I won't be surprised.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all. This is separate, Bandajan. But let's tell you, I think that was a very diplomatic statement, a very succinct, but at the same time, a very non-committal statement.
Of course, yeah, diplomacy. They're the one who wrote the book on it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's tell you in news from India, Bandajan, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on Wednesday alleged that she was pushed by 4 to 5 people who manhandled her during the election campaign in Nandigram. The incident took place around 6:15 p.m. where the Chief Minister was about to leave Birulia near Rayapara after praying at a local temple. Banerjee was supposed to stay the night in Nandigram in the Purba Medinipur district, but was rushed back to Kolkata and hospitalized. The incident triggered a security scare as the Chief Minister gets Z+ protection. And of course, the governor has gone to visit her and ensure her well-being as well. In coronavirus live updates from India, Covaxin can now officially be taken off the clinical trial mode according to experts. India has reported 17,921 new COVID-19 cases, 20,652 recoveries and 133 deaths in the last 24 hours. The total cases for the country now stands at 1.1. Oh God, how much is this, Altu Baba? I don't know how to read it. 1 crore 12 lakh 62,707 cases. This is so hard to read. And a Quad summit is likely to give a push to India-made vaccines in the war against COVID-19. The Indo-Pacific Quad summit on Friday is likely to bring this about. The move comes at a time when there is an acute shortage of vaccines worldwide and poorer countries are unable to receive or secure supplies. So more on that you will find on mediamahima.com. And this is something that Aldu found very interesting. He asked about the drones. India is planning to buy 30 armed drones from the United States to boost its sea and land defenses as tensions persist with neighbors China and Pakistan, according to officials with knowledge of the matter.
Hey, in the movie, what is that movie that big movie which is all about the Uri?
Huh.
Didn't they have a drone like an eagle? They could have had the same thing, right?
Hey, that was just a man-made thing that they did at that time, right?
Drones are man-made, not made by God.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not those, they may not be the, what do you call it?
Oh yeah, it's not armed, it had wings.
And it went like a bird, right?
Well, I think that was probably a civilian's drone, not like what American drones are, which actually are loaded with weaponry and everything. So yeah, anyway, it's good, anyway, it's bad. I don't know. Probably they have their own drones also.
Oh.
They call them dronas.
Oh God. Anyway, Bandajan, those were the news in detail from across the world and also from India. With regard to what is going on in the tech world, well, Bandajan, the US gaming platform Roblox is seen surging in the New York Stock Exchange debut. GameStop and other meme stocks are also doing really, really well. And Huawei customer United Group was considering changing the telecom gear vendor, and Apple is going to be setting up a silicon design center in Germany with an investment of almost $1.2 billion.
Whoa!
Yes.
Nice.
So you can get all of the detailed news on this on mediamahima.com. That's all we have time for this morning's Good Morning Bay. We'll tell you we'll be back tonight with another wonderful edition of the Pam Pam Show. Don't forget to tune in at 5. If you don't live in the Bay Area or don't have access to a radio, very simple, download the Radio D Hotties app anywhere in the world on iOS and Android, and you get to enjoy our music. If you drive a Tesla, you can listen to Radio D Hotties on your Tesla. Just ask her to play it. Or you can go to youtube.com and watch us there, or go to facebook.com/Radio D Hotties and watch our live videos there as well. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. This is the final iteration of the Khol De Par Gaane Ka Kira.